This is Eddie Hearn, Matchroom Boxing. You're watching Sporting Icons. You don't need to be anywhere else.
Right, so the unified heavyweight champion of the world, Anthony Joshua, has said that if he does have to vacate one of the belts, well, all that's going to do is create another historical fight. In the sense of, that will be another world champion that he's going to have to fight and defeat. Currently, he's got 4, which is Charles Martin, Vladimir Klitschko, Joseph Parker, and of course Andy Ruiz Jr. The only other one out there currently is Wilder, but as we know, Wilder, he's not been showing any kind of signs of legitimately wanting a fight with Anthony Joshua. Turned down $100 million. Can't be any more clear than that. Now, so he's saying that if you have to vacate the IBF or the WBO, then that's fine. He'll get that belt back pretty quick. And this is what Anthony Joshua had to say. Then we'll have a little bit of a chat about it. So Anthony Joshua's statement. I always said the belts do not represent me. I will stand as a champion even if I have to give one up. It will give me the opportunity to face another world champion. I've beaten 4 world champions on my record now. If I give up a belt, it creates more history and entertainment. If I have to, I'll give it away, but I'll get it back again. So that is Anthony Joshua's statement. He does go on to talk about a potential fight at Tottenham Hotspur's Stadium and Wembley and all that kind of stuff and that as well. But that is all in the description box in the article, the source article. So go give it a read once this video is finished and you are subscribed to this channel if you're not already. And if you're not, please do. Now, what he's talking about here is that both the IBF and the WBO have both called for their mandatory. So he's going to have to lose one unless one of these sanctioning bodies give way and say, okay, we'll postpone our one. At the minute, they're both digging in fast. They're digging in their heels and they're saying, no, we are next. So currently, WBO is Oleksandr Usyk. So if he goes and fights Oleksandr Usyk, then he's going to have to vacate the IBF, which is currently Kubrat Pulev. But if he goes to fight Kubrat Pulev, then he'll have to vacate the WBO. So it's a bit of a tricky situation in one way, but in some ways it's a pretty simple one to fix. Because if he goes and fights Pulev and defeats Pulev and has to give up the WBO, then that's a pretty easy fight to make with Oleksandr Usyk, if of course Usyk manages to win the vacant title, of course. So because Oleksandr Usyk, he's shown quite clearly that not only is he willing to go to a champion's backyard and collect belts, but he's willing to unify, as he has done on a couple of occasions now. He was undisputed cruiserweight world champion, and he will probably have zero fear of Anthony Joshua. Oleksandr Usyk is a true champion. So if Usyk ends up with that belt, he's quite likely to unify against Anthony Joshua. Whereas the other way around, Kubrat Pulev, if he has to vacate the IBF, he's less likely to get that belt back, because Kubrat Pulev is, first of all, he's never once shown any kind of sign that he wants an Anthony Joshua fight. He was given plenty of opportunities before he was originally the mandatory and kept saying no. And when he was forced to take it as mandatory, he pulled out with an injury, which is why Joshua ended up fighting Takam instead. So in addition to the fact he's a top-ranked fighter, Bob Arum will not want Kubrat Pulev to fight Anthony Joshua. He'll want to keep that belt within the top-ranked stable to fight on ESPN and BT Sport, respectively. So it would be logical for him to go fight Kubrat Pulev and vacate the WBO and then go unify against Usyk. So that will be the only way, and that will be the logical thing to do. People can talk about, well, Kubrat Pulev, he's 39 years old, he's too old. Why is Joshua fighting another old guy? Well, he's 2 years younger than Luis Ortiz. Alexander Povetkin is also a year younger than Luis Ortiz, but people gave Wilder praise and put him up on a high pedestal for fighting Luis Ortiz, but yet Joshua, who fights younger guys, gets no credit for that. That doesn't make any kind of sense to me. But that's the logical thing to do. Go fight Kubrat Pulev. And a fight here in the UK against Pulev is a pretty big fight. There are a lot of Bulgarians here in the UK. Anyway, that seems to me to be the logical thing to do. So if he does have to vacate one, I would fully expect him to vacate the WBO, go fight Pulev, beat Pulev, and then go unify against Oleksandr Usyk. But listen, Pulev is no guarantee of a win. If he ends up losing to Pulev, then Top Rank's going to have the IBF and the WBA and the IBO world titles. No rematch, because it's mandatory. So it is a bit of a tricky situation from that standpoint, but if he fights and defeats Pulev, it should be okay. then go unify against Usyk. Again, another hard fight. Anyway, that's what's going on. Article in the description box. Make sure you are subscribed to this channel. And big up to each and every one of you. Click thumbs up, and I'll catch you all on the next one.